Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of February 6th, Thursday. I am Royce Nagit. Kickstarting today's rush with the third confirmed case of the 2019 novel coronavirus, ARD, in the Philippines. However, the patient was able to leave the country even before testing positive for the disease. JC Cosico tells us why.
A 60-year-old Chinese woman entered the Philippines last January 20 via Hong Kong from Wuhan, China. She flew straight to Cebu City, then proceeded to Bohol. There, the woman was admitted in a private hospital after a bout with fever and colds. The symptoms prompted tests for nCoV, with samples taken on January 23 and 24. The January 24 sample yielded negative results after tests conducted by the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine and a lab facility in Australia. The earlier sample, however, tested positive for the virus, making her the third confirmed nCoV case in the country.
The picture is that the patient was infected but was getting better, and nag-negative na siya on the 24th, and a week later siya na-discharge.
The DOH says there are similar recoveries in China and that her case should not taint the test credibility.
In China now, they also have documented, I think, about 400 cases na positive na nag-negative. Kasi may eliminate mo yung virus from your body as your immune system mounts.
The DOH is now tracing people she may have had close contact with, including airline and hospital personnel. As of Wednesday, the number of patients under investigation has risen to 133, 115 of whom are currently admitted in hospitals, while 16 have been discharged but are still under strict monitoring. 32 were reported to have traveled to Wuhan. Contact tracing is still ongoing for those whom the first two nCoV cases in the country had close contact with. So far, 203 have been traced. 188 of them are now under home quarantine, while 15 are exhibiting nCoV-like symptoms such as cough and colds.
14 were already isolated for monitoring. Yung isa, hindi pa natin na-admit at nagpapatulong pa tayo sa local government unit and the other government agencies.
Meanwhile, the 38-year-old Chinese woman, the first confirmed case here, has not yet been discharged as she remains positive of the virus despite being asymptomatic. Her partner's remains, the 44-year-old Chinese male, is scheduled for cremation Wednesday. The DOH clarifies there is still no human-to-human transmission of the virus in the country. For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
After that third nCoV case, the first Filipino confirmed positive for the virus has also been reported. The patient is a seafarer aboard a Japanese cruise ship along with 9 other quarantine patients. They will be transported to hospitals in Japan while the ship remains under quarantine. So far, the death toll nears the 500 mark with dozens of new fatalities reported in China. There are also over 24,000 confirmed cases of the 2019 novel coronavirus around the world, most cases of which are in Asia. Latest reports state that almost 1,000 individuals have recovered from the disease. Some Filipinos were caught trying to sneak into China by first going to other countries. As a result, authorities have implemented a stricter protocol to prevent anyone from violating the travel ban again. Gerard de la Peña reports.
Despite only carrying 3 Filipino passengers, a Cathay Pacific flight from Hong Kong still made its way to Manila. The insufficient number of passengers, as well as the lack of flight crew, also prompted one other carrier to halt its China flights starting Thursday. As for the Chinese tourists stranded at the NAIA, they were already flown to China last Tuesday. But there's a new dilemma for airlines. Taipei and Incheon have barred connecting flights to China, further limiting the options for Chinese nationals still in Manila who need to go back to their home soil.
Ang nangyayari, maiiwan dito ang mga Chino hanggat makahanap namin sila ng airline na maaaring magdala sa kanilang destination.
The Immigration Bureau, for its part, is imposing tighter security on incoming and outgoing passengers. As of Tuesday, almost 500 Filipino passengers were prevented from flying out. They were held for attempting to go to China through other countries. Almost 400 of them were referred to the Bureau of Quarantine.
Mahirap po kasi magsinungaling in terms doon sa departure card. Meron din po kami departure card eh. So sasabihin nila doon and then comes to interview, nalaman namin na ang talagang destination niya is Hong Kong.
The Bureau of Quarantine and airline companies have both agreed on sharing passenger information.
Yung mga ganitong critical situation, it breeds confusion. No? So ngayon, nalinawan natin na may clear and established protocol.
The Civil Aeronautics Board hopes that this would help contain the spread of the virus. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
In light of the nCoV outbreak, a health expert from UP Manila clears the air against circulating misconceptions on the virus. In a Facebook post, UP Manila Institute of Molecular Biology Director Dr. Edsel Salvaña says only the health department can confirm or clear nCoV cases. He also clarifies that patients under investigation or PUIs are not confirmed cases yet. They may have been exposed to the virus, but this doesn't mean that they've been infected. Salvaña also says that only those who have symptoms are encouraged to wear face masks, while it is only optional for those who do not have coughs and colds. The health expert also noted that the general public should wear the surgical mask, always with the colored side out. Again, that is the blue part on the outside. He also discouraged the use of N95 masks, saying these should be reserved for doctors or those working in the front lines. Salvaña adds that it is wrong to believe that the warm climate here in the country protects us from nCoV. He explains that people can get infected if they inhale droplets or if the virus lands on their eyes or mouth. Salvaña also clarified that even though some people supposedly recovered from nCoV by using HIV drugs, there is still no proof that these meds can kill the virus. The expert advises people not to take HIV medication without doctor's advice. Salvaña also cited the World Health Organization in saying that although there are reports of the Wuhan coronavirus being transmitted by people who show no symptoms of the disease, these cases are too few to be considered significant. Lastly, the health expert pointed out that persons under investigation are protected by the Privacy Act. He calls on the public to avoid asking the Department of Health for details regarding PUIs.
And here are the biggest stories from the dailies. The House Committee on Population and Family Relations has approved not just one but 3 proposed laws seeking to legalize divorce. Business World reports that these are House Bills 100, 838, and 2263, which will be consolidated by a technical working group. After consolidation, it will be put to plenary discussion. The TWG, headed by Albay Representative Edsel Lagman, is set to convene on February 12. In other news, the DICT is defending the controversial disbursement of 300 million pesos in confidential funds brought into light by resigned Undersecretary Eliseo Rio. The department says the fund had a legitimate use for cybersecurity and the protection of the country's national security. President Duterte, on the other hand, is ready to talk to Rio regarding his concerns over the department. And this from Pangmasa, the Agriculture Department is looking to set a suggested retail price for galunggong. This after the price of the fish shot up to 260 pesos per kilo. The DA plans to cancel the importation of the remaining 18,000 metric tons of galunggong, which has yet to arrive from China and Vietnam, to stabilize prices.
Hoping during this period that we need imports, we will study the possibility of having SRP sa galunggong, suggested retail price. Otherwise, kung hindi mo bigyan niya ng mekanismo na ganyan, ay the price of galunggong is what? 4 times?
The National Privacy Commission is putting a stop to Grab's selfie verification system for its failure to comply with the provisions of the Data Privacy Act. Marian Enriquez reports.
Trina has been a Grab user for 2 years now, but a few months back, she was asked to take a selfie for her account verification on the mobile app, or else she would need to enroll her credit or debit card details in order to proceed with her booking.
It was really uncomfortable. I thought there could have been another way to verify na I'm real.
This verification, together with the pilot tests of in-car video and audio recording, were ordered suspended by the National Privacy Commission via a cease and desist order, as this may endanger the privacy rights of the passengers. According to Grab, these personal data processing systems are part of their security measures. The NPC said, however, that Grab did not sufficiently identify and assess the risks posed by these systems on the rights and freedoms of the data subjects, and that only the risks faced by the company were taken into account. The Commission also noted that the public was not informed that photos, video, and audio recordings would be released to authorities in the event of a dispute, conflict, or complaint through Grab's privacy notice and privacy policy. Lastly, it pointed out that the firm did not mention its legal basis for processing the collected data. In response, Grab said it is willing to comply with the order.
We are hopeful that this collaboration will, of course, still lead to prioritizing the safety and protecting the users of the app.
The firm assured the public all data that will be collected are secured.
All these information, all these data are encrypted, and the access to them are actually limited only to those with authority.
Grab is given 15 days to comply with the remedial measures addressing the said deficiencies. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
It's going to be a relatively warmer day for us this Thursday, but there might be some chance of rain in several parts of the country as Pag-asa spotted a low-pressure area east of Davao City. To tell us more on this, we have with us on the line Chris Perez from the Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Chris, good morning. Any chances that this LPA will develop into a tropical depression?
Good morning. So far, this particular low-pressure area has slim chance of developing into a tropical depression. However, it is expected to cross the Mindanao area today until tomorrow, and will generally affect the weather of that particular area and portions of the Visayas area within 24 hours.
Are we monitoring any other weather disturbance apart from this LPA?
Well, aside from this one, so far we are not expecting any other weather disturbance or cyclones to affect the country in the next 3 to 4 days.
How about the cool weather brought about by the Amihan? Will it continue, and how long will it last?
Well, yes, we are expecting occasional surge of the Amihan or northeast monsoon until the end of February. So expect from time to time, let us all expect some sudden surge of colder early morning temperatures during this particular month.
Okay, thank you for that update, Pag-asa weather forecaster Chris Perez. Time now for some quick fire around the world. The Republican-led U.S. Senate has voted to acquit President Donald Trump from impeachment charges. The tally for the conviction fell far below the 67 vote threshold needed for his removal. The first impeachment article for abuse of power was rejected 48 to 52, while the second, obstruction of Congress, lost 47 to 53. Republican Mitt Romney was the only senator to break party, voting to remove Trump from office. Now that came on the heels of Trump's third State of the Union address, where he boasted administration accomplishments since stepping into office. A good portion of this includes economic achievements along the lines of, quote, being the best there ever has been. He also touted the renegotiation of the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Phase 1 trade deal with China, which is seen to hit a snag with the ongoing coronavirus outbreak.
I say to the people of our great country and to the members of Congress, the state of our union is stronger than ever before.
After that speech, someone wasn't clearly happy. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who led the impeachment charge against Trump, was seen tearing up the U.S. president's printed speech after the event. When asked about the move, Pelosi had this to say.
It was a manifesto of mistruths.
Japan is going all out for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics by appointing iconic anime characters as official ambassadors for the Games. It's a star-studded line up of the most popular anime characters in history, which include Sailor Moon, Monkey D. Looney from One Piece, Son Goku of Dragon Ball, and even Naruto. Astro Boy, Shin-chan, Pretty Cure, and Ji Banyan also made it to the list. The most awaited Summer Olympics is slated to begin on July 24. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. For Riza Diaz, I am Royce Nagit. We are One News.